Throughout this series, I've used this chart to show how the scope of your role changes as you move through an organization. But there's one constant thread through all of these roles. Regardless of your position in the scope chart, there is a necessary element that is at the root of most success: vision. Let's look at the role of visions in an organization. I'm Chris Williams, and in my over 40 years of experience as a leader and advisor, as well as in my decades of research, I've seen nothing clearer. There are many things that can derail an organization: lack of funding, poor products, market timing, natural disasters. There are a lot of them. But there is no more definitive predictor of failure than the lack of a clear vision. Organizations that have a clear, crisp vision have a shot at success. Those that don't are virtually guaranteed to fail. Let me show you why. In the last 9 videos, we've seen clearly how as your role moves up in the hierarchy, it changes on the 2 dimensions of organization and time. The higher you go, the broader your view is on both. You see a larger and larger portion of the organization, all the way through to the organization's place in the world. And you see a longer and longer period of time, moving from days and weeks to months, years, and on to the lifespan of the company. Your scope changes your view. We've also seen how there are zones in an organization where certain questions take priority. There's the how zone, the what zone, and the why zone. At the bottom, the questions are, how can we do this? In the middle, it's all about what to do next. And at the top, you worry about why do any of it. But for all of these areas, on all of these dimensions, there's an element that provides the common thread. Every successful organization, and even every segment of the organization, needs clarity of vision to be successful. This movement up the scope chart also brings into focus one of the most important leadership tools. That is the use of a clear vision to lead the entire organization. The scope chart and the change in perception that goes along with the movement highlights the importance of the vision very clearly. Every organization, regardless of size, needs a leader, and that leader needs a vision. It doesn't matter if you're talking about a multinational behemoth that employs millions or the corner ice cream store. It could be a school or a soup kitchen or the finance department of a mid-sized manufacturer of garden tools. Every team needs to be able to set its sights on a target, to point the entire organization toward it, measure their progress against it, and celebrate their success when they achieve it. Over 25 years ago, when I was in charge of software development best practices at Microsoft, I was tasked with finding out why some projects fail. We had dozens of projects, large and small. We had skilled veteran managers and newly minted fresh-faced managers. We had a world full of fertile opportunities and some of the smartest minds in the world. Yet some projects succeeded wildly, while others fell amazingly flat. I was tasked with finding out why. I did months of research, interviewed dozens of people, and examined reams of data. I talked with teams who succeeded and teams that failed. I looked at our most successful projects and a few that were such large failures they made the evening news. And I learned a lot. Certainly, I learned a lot about the details of software development. Some tools worked better than others. Some processes were more robust. Some ways of tracking and managing worked better. But throughout it all, there was a clear and distinct difference. There was a single thing that separated the projects that succeeded from those that failed. And that difference was vision. The projects that succeeded all had a clear, unambiguous, measurable vision for where they were going. Everyone on the team knew precisely what they were shooting for. The entire team rallied around the vision, and they were able to withstand setbacks and challenges because they had this clarity of vision. The projects that failed did so for a variety of reasons. They were underfunded, they got sidetracked, they ran out of time in the market. But there was a common thread there as well. None of the projects that failed had a clear vision. It turns out that projects with a clear vision succeed in spite of their issues. The projects without one failed because of their issues. It wasn't the lack of vision that killed them, it was simply that they couldn't survive without one. Since I did this research at Microsoft those many years ago, I've had a chance to see the effect of visions in action. I've seen organizations of all sizes and styles. I've worked with small businesses, corporations, nonprofits, startups. I've helped executives of teams large and small. Throughout it all, I've seen the power of visions replayed time and again. I've seen that organizations that have a clear, crisp vision have a chance for success. Those without one struggle for mere survival. I've seen the best leaders use vision for everything from goal setting and decision making to hiring, firing, marketing, and beyond. I've seen the power of the motivation provided by visions and the resilience it brings to organizations. In those years, I've become convinced that there is no more powerful leadership tool than a great vision. What does all this have to do with the scope chart? A clear vision for an organization, regardless of size, is an essential element of success. That bears repeating. Visions are essential for every organization, regardless of size. Way back in the beginning of this series, I pointed out that a key element of the scope chart was its consistency. That once you're above an individual contributor, your job doesn't really change as you move up in the org. The only thing that changes as you move up the scope chart is the scope of your role, the size of the organization you're dealing with, the time periods you're looking at. Your perception of the world gets larger, but the job is the same. The same is true for a good, clear vision. A robust vision is essential for every single stop on the scope chart. At every single level on the scope chart, you should be establishing a clear vision for your organization. Doesn't matter if it's the finance team of just a few people, the U.S. division of a major multinational, or an entire mid-sized manufacturer. At every one of those roles, having a clear, crisp vision for you and the team is essential. So the scope chart once again shows that regardless of your place on it, the job is the same. Leadership looks very much the same. Chart a clear course and get everyone pointed in the same direction. Vision is so powerful that it's the subject of my next series of videos. It's a crucial component of good leadership. In fact, without a clear vision, your project and perhaps even your entire organization are doomed to failure. And the best leaders know that a clear, crisp, well-communicated vision is the essential foundation upon which success is built. This series of videos on scope clearly outlines the changes in scope as you move up in an organization, and the changes in perception that go along with those changes. But it also amplifies the importance of vision. At each level in the organization, everyone sees a slightly different view of the company. Everyone sees the problems and progress slightly differently. Everyone has a different view, and they see nearly everything through their own lens. A clear vision is the unifying force that keeps whole organizations tied together. Without a clear vision that is unified, clear, and shared by everyone, their own fragmented perception of the organization drives their actions. If you have a clear vision, that becomes the target, the glue, the unifying force that keeps everyone pointed in the same direction. As I noted, vision is so important that I'm devoting my next series to it. This series and the detail it has provided on scope and how it helps highlight the differences in perception as you move through an organization makes that series essential to great leadership. Thank you for watching this series. I hope the scope chart helps you to understand your role in the organization and your perception of the organization from that role. And I hope you can use it to make your organization more successful and help your career flourish. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so you won't miss the next series on vision. See you then. Thanks again for watching.